I am introducing you syllabus CambridgeOLevel Computer Science 2210. In the previous part 1, we have gone through a few topics of syllabus, and we have left at computer system, computer hardware. So let's move forward. We are going to start from where we left that. Here we moving ahead to the part which we are going to introduce to you, because this is the second part. Here it is. We have reached at hardware. Okay. Oh, this third part is there are two papers, each of 75 marks, and in the first paper part 1, we are discussing about the syllabus, the latest paper, latest syllabus, which we will discuss about it, and you will take exam in it. So here it is. I am going to mode it. Yes, it's a hardware. Computer architecture 3.1. Candidate should be able to understand the role of central processing CPU in a computer. It's a very important, what is CPU, central processing unit. Actually, it processes data. It takes from, memory, which is RAM, and cache memory, which uh, is also there, and registers are there. So uh, any data from hard disk or some USB uh, is there in RAM, and from where it goes into cache and registers and process data according to rules and regulation algorithm. We call it cycles. It's a in-depth scenario, but we are going to discuss about the what will we will cover here. We see the notes here. The CPU processes instruction data that are input into the computer so that the result can be output. Yes, just like I have told you, it's for processing data. Okay, a microprocessor type of integrated circuit. Yes, on a single chip, because it's simple. ICs, integrated circuits. It's a type of IC on a single chip. Okay, and what is it? And we can also understand what is meant by microprocessor. Understand the purpose of the component in CPU. What are the component in CPU in a computer that had non-human architecture? It's a well-known architecture of CPU, on the basis of which it is built. So we will also see a depth in uh, in the book, including unit arithmetic logic unit, which perform arithmetic logic operations, addition, subtraction, and some logical operations are there, and units which controls the operation of the processor. So all these things are very important. Okay. Then there are some registers. As I have already told you, then program counter which keeps the counting of the instructions which are being uh, processed. Memory address registers there, memory data registers MDR, and current instruction registers CAIR, and accumulator. All these are very important, which we will study in depth from this book as well. But from the book which we will mention you later, I am also giving some lectures and following the book as well. You can see in this channel. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to our channel. I hope you get some useful information from our channel. Then buses, address bus, data bus, and control buses are there, because basically what are buses? Buses are to transfer data from source to destination. And what is its purpose? And for example, perspective, we will study in depth and detail, inshallah. And then describe the process of fetch decode cycle. Okay, this is the main cycle: fetch, decode, execute cycle, FD we call it, because some instruction are fetched, then processed, decoded, and then executed, and it's a phenomena which we will discuss. And what is the role of each component, that will also be discussed. Okay, now in the notes, because there is a these are notes as well. How instructions and data are fit from random access memory into CPU. As I already told you that CPU always fetches data from RAM. For example, if some data is in hard disk, okay, hard drives, it's first, the shifted into RAM, random access memory, which is called main memory, or it's a volatile memory. What is volatile? When the power switches off, all the data goes off. But nowadays, there are many techniques are there nowadays. They also save data, but now basic purpose of CPU is to take data from RAM and process it and give back to to the output devices just like monitors and so on. Uh, in this way, using each component how they are then executed. Then this can be actually execution mean to give some output after execution in the monitor as well. Because if we are going to perform, 2 plus 2, then it must be executed, and then the output will be in the form of multiplication, division, and so on. If we want to perform any addition factor, storing data and addressing into different register. Okay, now from RAM, there are also registered because it's a very small memory as well, and it contains data and addresses because which register to access or which you know thing to fetch. It's a purpose of addresses, and address registers are also there. Okay. Then the concept comes to the uses using buses to transmit data. That's very important. We can also transfer data to transfer data through buses, addresses, and signals. Okay, there are three ways to transfer data. Okay, first of all, it's a very mandatory concept of bus. Uh, we can transfer data and we can transfer address and signals through buses as well. Okay, then using units to fetch, decode, and execute data and instructions. Because what is difference between very important concept is a data and instruction. Data is something some useful information. Okay, but instructions are how to execute or how to perform, how to carry this data. Okay, these are the instructions. Okay, just like we can say that instruction given to computer hardware to do what a computer is supposed to do, for example, is a hardware, is a software. And similarly, set of instructions is always there to perform any specific task. It's a purpose of instruction. Okay. Okay. Then we come the number of cores, size of the cache, and speed of the clock can affect the performance of CPU. Okay. On what factors CPU depends? Is a core, number of cores, how many cores are there, then size of the cache, how many, okay, there are levels, there are L1 cache, L2 cache, L3 cache, and what is its size, and similarly, what is speed, clock, okay, clock means just like we say that this is 3 gigahertz clock, CPU, this is 2 gigahertz CPU. So basically, we are talking about the clock performance of the CPU. If there is a high speed of CPU, then it can perform any processing in a quick way, in a better, in a fast way possible. An instruction set is a list of all the commands that can be processed by a CPU. Okay, now what is the instruction set? Of the, is the list of all the commands that can be by CPU, and the commands are machine code. Okay, it's really important that these all commands uh, with, uh, which we call a list of all the commands is called an instruction set, and the commands are machine code as well. An embedded system is used to perform a dedicated function. Okay, fixed or assigned functions are there, which is called dedicated functions. So an embedded system is used for this purpose. For example, in domestic appliances, okay, car, security system, lighting system, or vending machine. Okay, we see that in domestic appliances, the cars are there, security system are there. There are fixed, functions or dedicated functions are there. For example, purpose of pressure cooker is to cook the food, and similarly, oven is are there, and in a car, in a security system, these are the embedded, embedded systems are available and fixed system. Okay, this is different to general purpose computer that are used to perform many different functions. Okay, but general purpose computer can perform many functions. For example, personal computer and laptops. Okay, so general purpose computer, just like laptop or PC, can perform many different tasks. You are using different apps and you are performing different tasks and programs, and your working is different. But when we talk about the security system in the car, it will be for specific purpose. It's a embedded system, we call dedicated function it will perform, and it will do nothing else. Okay, so okay, then we have already discussed about the describing the purpose and characteristic of an embedded system and identify devices in which they are commonly used. Okay, that's good. And now we move forward for our next page. What is it? Here it is input and output devices. Very important. We are going to study an level 210 course. Okay. What will candidate or learner will learn from this. Understand what is meant by an input device and why it is used. Very good. We see that what is input device. Here are some, including barcode scanner. We scan bar coding through. This is the input device, digital camera and keyboard. Okay, microphone and optical mouse. QR code scanner, a touch screen. Okay, resistance, capacitive, and infrared. There are three types of just like touch on the mobile, and there are touch types as well. Two-dimensional and three-dimensional scanners are there. These are all the input devices are there. We will study one by one in our course, and then understand what is meant by an output and why it is used. Output device and why it is used. Okay, what is the output devices? Just like monitor is one of them, but we see here actuator, digital light processing, DLP projector are there, inject printer, laser printer, and light intensity diode screen. LEDs are there, LCD, liquid crystal display projector, old and then liquid crystal display LCD screen are there, speakers and 3D printer. All of these things are output devices, and what is purpose? But we are going when we are going into our syllabus, we will learn a lot. Understand what is meant by a sensor and the purpose of sensor. Okay, then what are sensors and how they are going to work. There are different sensors for different purpose. Acoustic is for voices, accelerometer for speed, follow is and gas, humidity, infrared level, light, magnetic field, moisture, pH for pH level, pressure, proximity, temperature. All these sensors are used for different purposes according to their work. As the name already suggests us. Identify the type of data captured by each sensor, understand when each sensor would be used, and selecting the most suitable sensor for a given context. Okay. So in this way, we will see the purpose of the cylinder sensor as well. Now we come to the data storage devices. Understand what is meant by primary storage. Okay, primary storage is directly accessed by the CPU. Okay, just like the ROM or RAM. No, RAM is random access memory and ROM is read-only memory. It's a permanent memory where when we start the program, all the BIOS is in ROM. So including why computer needs both RAM and ROM and the difference between them. What is the difference between them? Secondary storage is not directly accessed by the CPU and is necessary for more permanent storage of data. And what is secondary? Just a hard drive is one example. It's not directly accessed by the CPU, but magnetic storage uses platters which are divided into tracks and sectors. Okay, sectors. Data is read and written using electromagnetic magnets, including hard disk drive. IDD is a simple example. Hard drive we call it. And optical storage uses laser to create and read bits and lines, including CD compactors, digital video drive, DVD, and Blu-ray. This is a phenomena of optical storage. Solid state flash memory uses NAND or NOR technology is concept of logical gates we call it. Transistors are used as a control gates and floating gates. Okay, you get solid state SSD and SD card and USB drive are the phenomena of solid state flash drives. Okay. Okay, we will cover the describe operation of magnetic, optical, and solid state flash flash memory storage and give approach. Describe what is meant by a virtual memory, how it is used and used, how it is created and used, and why it is necessary. Then understand what is meant by cloud storage. We will study also. Pages of data are transferred between RAM and virtual memory when needed. Okay, virtual memory is a logical memory which is is created and it is give a linkage to RAM and virtual memory to meet its requirements. What is cloud storage can be accessed remotely in comparison to storage storing data locally because cloud is on the the internet online drives are available. So this is considered a cloud storage. Explain the advantage of storing data on the cloud in comparison to storing locally. Okay, locally mean on our hard disk. Okay, and cloud mean on the internet. Online. There are internet storage, online storage. There are physical servers and storage are needed to store data and cloud storage. Okay, simple is that the data is stored physically, but locally mean on our own computer system, hard disk drives, or we use USBs and so on. This is a local storage. These are the devices. But when we call about the cloud, because cloud we access any server or any device which is maintaining or containing the data through our online internet. So this is the difference, but actually both are the physical devices, whether they are cloud system or in the locally as well. Okay, then comes the network hardware. The candidate should be able to. What is the network hardware? Understand that computer needs a network interface card to access network. Okay, NAC is very important because every NAC contains medium access control address. Okay, understanding what is meant by and the purpose of media access control. Here it is, because each network interface card is contains specific address which is called medium access control is a MAC. A network interface card gives a MAC is given a MAC address at the point of manufacture. When any company manufactures, any MAC, it gives a specific number which is MAC. MAC address are usually written as a hexadecimal because it's very easy to understand than binary because each hexadecimal used symbol is corresponds to 4 binary bits. Okay, MAC address are created using the manufacturer code and the serial code. Okay, an IP address allocated by the network and it can be static or dynamic. Okay, now when we can talk about internet protocol, it is given by the network itself, not its manufacturer. Manufacturers give only MAC, including the characteristic of a difference between IP version 4 and there are two types of IP version. We will understand what is meant by and the purpose of internet address. Understand that there are different types of IP addresses, okay, including the characteristic of and difference between IP version 4, 6. A router send data to specific network. Okay, what is purpose of router? Router is to route the data or send the data to a specific destination on a network, on a given network. Okay, and routers can also assign IP addresses. IP address can be fixed or DHCP, dynamic host configuration protocol is used to choose from the already you built-in or assigned IP addresses one by one randomly through Wi-Fi. And then a router can connect a local network to the internet. Okay, a router can also connect a local network to the internet as well. This is the basic purpose, role of router and network. So we have uh, gone through it. Now we are moving forth. Our this topic is software. Very simple software. Software is a what is software? Instructions given to computer hardware to do what a computer is supposed to do as a software. Simply as that. And it should be able to describe the difference between system software and application software and provide example of each. Okay. What are the notes for, regarding it? System software provides the services that the computer requires, including operating system and utility software. Okay, these are the there are okay two types of very important software are there. One is called the application software where a user can use, and other is operating system software, just like kernels and these are the operating systems. And then utility software is just like calculator for the utility purpose. Application software provides the services that the user requires, including in managing file, handling interrupts, providing interface, managing peripheral and drives, managing memory, and then providing a platform for running applications, providing system security, managing user account. These are the application, you know, software as well. Rule and basic function operating system. We will study about it. Then the types of software interrupts. What are the types of software? And it should be able to understand how hardware, firmware, operating system are required to run application software. Okay, hardware, firmware, and we will study about it. Describe the role of operation of interrupts. And what is application run on operating system? Of course, operating system just like Windows operating system, Windows 10 nowadays, 11 and so on. Operating system is run to on the firmware. Operating system is just like firmware, and the bootloader is run on the hardware. Firmware is always run on hardware, including how an interrupt is generated, how it is handled using interrupt service, which we call ISR. What happens as a result of interrupts? Interrupts is to stop the current working of any process or program, and this is a concept of interrupt. Software interrupts include division by zero and two processes are trying to access the same memory location. Okay, there are two types of very important. If we divide something by zero, then it will get interrupt because we cannot divide by zero. This is interrupt, and a program will halt and move towards another instructions. Similarly, when two processes are trying to access the same services, okay, access the same memory location. Okay, so hardware interrupts include processing a key on the keyboard and moving the mouse. Okay, so in pressing a key on the keyboard, if we press the key on the keyboard just like escape or del, or we move that to go to well, another program, and we click it, then the interrupts may occur. Okay. Types of programming languages, translators, and integrated development environment. This is a very important concept. We are going to discuss about it, but we will study in detail in books. And it should be able to explain what is meant by a high-level language and low-level language, including the advantage, disadvantage of each. Remember one thing: what is a high-level and low-level? Low-level language is a binary language, which a computer can understand. Computer only understands, low-level language, which is called 0-1, which is a 0-1 language. Zero means bits zero and bits one. Just like the logical gate is on means zero, one, and logical gate zero mean off mean is a zero. So 0-1 language is a low level language. High level language just like correspond to the human language, and all resembles are near to that, just like C++, Java. All these are the high level language. Python, and we will see its advantage and disadvantages. Include ease of reading and writing code. Okay, for a high level language, it's very easy to read, just like Python writing code, because it is very similar sentence, almost very understandable, and is a resemblance with English as well. Low level is hard to read because it's binary. Each of debugging code, machine independence, and direct manipulation of hardware is there. Understanding the assembly language is a far of low-level language that uses mnemonics, and that an assembler is needed to translate an assembly language program into machine code. Okay, so, this like symbolic versions are there. High-level language, then assembly language, then machine language. Assembler is a software which convert assembly language to machine code, which is 0-1 code. Okay, and then it describe the operation of a compiler and interpreter, include how high-level language is translated by each and how errors are reported. Okay, what is this? We are going to see. A compiler translates the whole code at once before executing it, producing an executable file. What is it? Okay, when we talk about compiler, this is a C compiler and some other compilers in different languages. It execute all the before execute translate the whole code. Okay, and before it can execute it, not one by one, but interpret it. When error is occurred found, then it always stops. But a compiler will report after going through it. For example, when it is going through 20 lands, it will check all the 20 lands, and if there are 3 lands, it will specify at the end, specify or highlight at the end, but interpret it. If there is a start from one line, if there is an error in the second line, it will stop, okay, and give through an error at that time as well. This is a difference between a compiler and interpreter, as a very important, and we will study in this course. Okay. Then come the candidate should be able to test the programming language, translate, and integrated development environment. Okay, explain the role of ID in writing program code and common function ID. Integrated digital environment, very important. Where we do programming mostly online IDs, and which has built-in editors and compiler, assembler are there. So including understanding that an interpreter is used to use when developing program, and a compiler is used to translate the final program. Okay, when we compile it one by one line, the interpreter is used and compiler is used to translate a whole program. Code editors are there, runtime environment, translators, error diagnostic, auto completion, auto correction, and uh, pretty print. These are the functions for printing as well, pretty print. So these are functions are the main, for integrated digital environment function. Then the internet and its uses. Internet World Wide Web, mostly you see the www for websites. So understand the difference between the internet and the World Wide Web. Okay, what is internet and what is World Wide Web? Internet is the infrastructure. Okay, is an infrastructure. The World Wide Web is a collection of websites and web pages accessed using the kernel. Using the internet. So when we talk about the World Wide Web, www, it is a collection of different websites and web pages which we see. When we scroll it down one page, two pages, the web pages using internet. But internet itself is a infrastructure. A URL, Uniform Resource Recorder, is a universal resource recorder, is a text-based address for a web page. Okay, it can contain the protocol, the domain name, and the web page or file name. Okay, protocol is there, set of rules is called a protocol, the domain name, okay, and then the web page file name is there. For where we see that from www dot name is given .com. This is a URL to find any address. Understand what is meant by a uniform resource recorder. Uniform resource recorder, sorry, not universal, uniform resource recorder. Discuss the purpose and operation of hypertext transfer protocol. It's a very important protocol, set of rules for websites, and hypertext transfer protocol secure HTTPs. The main purpose of web browser is to render hypertext markup language and display web page. Okay, this is the main purpose for web browser, that it can render markup. HTML is a language and display web pages. A purpose and function of a web browser. Function include for web browser storing bookmarks and favorites, recording user history, allowing use of multiple tabs, storing cookies, providing navigation tools, and providing an address bar. These are the purpose of the function of the web browser, which we often see that. Okay, so I think we are going to now stop it, because about 30 minutes we are giving this live lecture. This is our part 2. We will continue from it as a part 3. The internet and the World Wide Web we will discuss in the next lecture. See you next. Bye.